Right now, NAVTA is pushing a national credential initiative, which is trying to bring a little bit more uniformity to the credentialing status of technicians. And right now, depending on the state that you're in, being a veterinary technician, quote unquote veterinary technician, could mean various different things. That it could be regulated by the government, it could be a private credential that they have, or there could be there are states that don't have credentialing systems at all, but they're just generally called veterinary technicians because that's the role that we play. And depending on the state, it could be CVT, a certified veterinary technician, RVT, registered veterinary technician, LVT, licensed, or LVMT, licensed veterinary medical technician, or there's no credentialing titles at all. And so the National Credential Initiative has two different goals. The first is to try to standardize the credentialing requirements throughout the nation, so that people who do have the title of the veterinary technician have a standard set of education and knowledge and training that they go through. And the other is to unify that title. Instead of it being CVT, RVT, LVT, to try to bring it to one single title that people can refer to so that there's a consistent identity that we have. Now, with that, there is a potential for us to try to change the title to veterinary nurse instead of veterinary technician, because we feel that that can bring a certain degree of recognition to the profession itself. The conversation actually has been around for decades, that what our title should be, and it's coming up again, and I think that this time it's even more serious of a conversation, mainly because when we think about standardizing the credential requirements and the title, veterinary nurse is one of the titles that always comes up to from within the profession for us to want to be called. In order to see if that's something that we should look into, we did some surveys. The first one was with veterinary technician leaders throughout the nation, who included board members of veterinary technician associations, VTS academies, and that survey returned 73.3% of the respondents favoring the term veterinary nurse. There's less of a question regarding whether we want a unified title or not. 97% said yes. And even further, with the 2016 NAVTA demographic survey that was just recently published, we saw that within the technician population, 54% favored the term veterinary nurse, 37% wanted veterinary technician, and 8% or so were undecided. So the second survey, the demographic survey, may seem like there's a little bit more of a split in opinion regarding what our title should be. But we started looking into some of the main reasons why people would lean one way or the other. And one of the main reasons that people were favoring veterinary technician title was that we felt some people maybe feel that we might not be able to accomplish changing our title to veterinary nurse because of the nursing community. That there is some title protection within the laws regarding nurses that protects the title nurse, and we've had some issues in the past with certain states trying to establish the term veterinary nurse and having a little bit of opposition regarding it. And so we wanted to see a little bit, look a little bit further into that to see if that was going to be an actual hurdle or not. Upon taking a little bit further look, there's 26 states where the title protection for nurses actually won't be a conflict, at least at this point in time. And we're also working with the nursing advocacy and regulatory agencies or organizations to try to have a conversation, profession to profession, to see how much of an issue this really is. And we've been having good conversations and informing them of what kind of education we go through, what kind of training that veterinary technicians have, and comparing the professions to see if this is something that actually can come true or not. And we're optimistic about that at the moment.
So where do we go from here, and what's the next step?
So because the second major reason that many of the people chose veterinary technician as the title that they would prefer is because they feel that veterinary technicians serve a different role than nurses do in the human field, but on the veterinary side. I think that there's a need for us to educate ourselves on what nurses actually do, the structure that they have in terms of specialized certifications, the job roles that they serve in different practice settings, to accurately compare it to the veterinary technician profession. Because I think when we do that, we'll see that they're actually not that much different. There's definitely more similarities and differences. And once we do that, we actually need to make up our minds as a profession. 54% to 37% is a pretty big split, and even 54% being a majority, we'd like to see that be a bigger number for us to move forward with it and expend the effort and the energy it's going to require to make that change. And so I would urge all veterinary technicians to become educated on the topic, to form an informed opinion, not an emotional opinion, but an informed one, and tell us and join the conversation that we're having right now in order for us to make a decision as a united profession. And in order to do that, you can go to the NAVTA website to take a look at the Veterinary Nurse Initiative section of the page to take a look at the most recent official information. There's a lot of good discussions going on out on social media, different kinds of media outlets. And so get yourself involved, talk to your state associations, talk to your national associations, give yourself a voice by being a part of that. And this is really the time to move forward from here. To put this debate to rest so that we can move forward and take a look at bigger challenges like standardizing the national credential requirement and trying to get good reciprocity between all the states within the nation so that we can travel without having to relicense in a different state. There are all these other things higher up that we need to get to, that this debate of veterinary nurses versus veterinary technician that's going on is only going to stifle us unless we make a uniform decision.
Meow.